Hey guys, Pastor P here. Hope you're having a great Sunday. It's a beautiful sunny day outside here in Southern California, so we're looking forward to getting out in it today. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a great week. Just want to pick up where we left off. I want to start off with a passage from the Gospel of John. John chapter 10 is where we're going to kind of focus and lean back into. John 10:1 says, I tell you the truth. The one who does not enter the sheep pen by the gate, but climbs in by some other way is a thief and a robber. The one who enters by the gate is the shepherd of his sheep. The watchman, aka the Holy Spirit, the watchman opens the gate for the shepherd, and the sheep listen to his voice. He calls his own sheep by name and leads them out. When he has brought out all his own, he goes on ahead of them, not lingering behind, ahead of them, and his sheep follow him because they know his voice. But they will never follow a stranger. I'll never follow someone that doesn't have the fruit of the Spirit, that's not speaking love and joy and peace and patience and self-control and long-suffering. I won't be able to do it. It says that they will never follow a stranger. In fact, they'll run away. That's a pretty clear indication, a test. If someone's speaking to you or directing you or leading you or you've submitted to, make sure that they're leading with love, that they're leading with joy and peace and goodness and kindness and self-control. It says, in fact, they'll run away from him because they do not recognize a stranger's voice. Jesus used this figure of speech, but they didn't understand it. There are those that are not going to understand, okay? And they didn't understand what he was telling them. Therefore, because of that, because of them not understanding, Jesus said again, I tell you the truth. I am the gate. I am the gate. It says that the one who enters by the gate, the one who enters by Christ, the one who enters by the source of love and light and life. Jesus said, I tell you the truth. I am the gate for the sheep. All who ever came before me were thieves and robbers, but the sheep did not listen to them. I am the gate. I am the door. I am the entrance. I am the way. Okay? It says here that I'm the gate. Whoever enters through me will be saved. Will be saved. The word meaning healed, delivered, totally unto being who they were created to be. He will come in and go out and find pasture. There'll be peace. There's peace in listening to the voice of love and joy and peace. There's peace in rest and trusting God. It goes on to say, he will come in and go out and find pasture. The thief, pay attention, the thief comes only to steal and to kill and to destroy. But Christ says, I have come that they may have life and have it to the full. You got a choice. You got a choice on whose voice to follow. John 10, pay attention to that. I want to ask you, I know last week we talked about pointing and calling things out as they are, things that are hindering, distracting, things that are an obstacle to you being you or you being the person you want to be or the goals that you're trying to reach. This past week was about taking a look at things and things in your cabinet, things in your drawer, things in your work, things in your play, things in your what you watch on TV, things in the what you talk about on the phone, things in what you follow in social media. Pointing and calling those things that would be a distraction or a hindrance or an obstacle to you being the person that you want to be. I just want to check in with you and see how that went this week, because you want to remember that it's about looking at those things that stand in the way of you being you being what you want to be in this moment. A lot of times people use excuses like age. If age, point and call that thing out. If age, you think age is keeping you from doing some of the things you do, let's get a reality check. You're stronger than you think you are. You think that somebody is in the way. Sometimes we just need to have a real conversation. First with ourselves. Come on now. Because it's all about creating awareness of those things. And then an honest conversation with the other person. And so more about last week and even this question that I'm putting before you today is about paying attention, creating some awareness instead of like we talked about or we've been talking about, just going through everyday little willy-nilly, just getting by. I'm sorry, but you do not have a just get by spirit. You have got the Holy Spirit of the living God residing in you. The self-same Spirit that raised Christ from the dead lives and abides in you. And so recognizing that, tapping into that, and tapping into that power that is within you, and using that to bring forth, to manifest that which you know you're destined for, but you let everything else get in the way. We're pointing to those things that have been getting in the way. So hopefully that's going good for you. You see, that particular passage that we shared from John 10, it's about listening to the Holy Spirit within you. You know when you do, oh Lord, you know when you're about to do something that you ain't supposed to be doing. You know that when you make an excuse or when you run up against a distraction, you run up against a hindrance or an obstacle, you know that if this stays and it's prolonged and you continue to run into it, habits are created, and out of habits come the traditions. Go back a few weeks, listen to some of the previous videos, how these things are generated. So it's about identifying those things that began to cue you up. Okay? Say like, for example, you've cleaned out the cabinets. Okay? There's no more s'mores. There's no more chocolate chip cookies. There's no more Fritos. There's no more. Okay, I'm just using this crazy example, but you've cleaned out the cupboard. You're ready for a healthy life. It's going to depend on what you put back in the cupboard that helps you to meet that goal. So it's about paying attention so that before you grab those Oreos and put them back in that cupboard, you know, it's a cue. It's a cue for like, well, I don't want to go down that path. I've committed the next 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, whatever it is. I've committed to this. Let me work out that commitment to break this habit. So it's about creating that awareness. So we just don't unconsciously just grab whatever, but we're grabbing those things that are healthy for us. Same with the things we choose to watch on TV. Same with the same podcasts we choose to listen to. Same with the folks we choose to talk to and surround ourselves with. Let's get real this morning. Okay? And so are those folks building you up? Are those folks working you along to your goal? Or are they a hindrance, an obstacle, a distraction to that which God has purposed you to be and to do? So I'm all about purpose, y'all. I'm all about folks walking in their purpose, channeling in, honing in, defining and learning more. Sometimes we walk in things that we thought were our purpose, and then we find like, we got to make a little shift, a little tweak to get back on the path. So those are the things that we've been sharing about and talking about. And one thing to really help us in that way is, you remember the first part of the year when we were talking about our thoughts, and we were talking about our actions. We were talking about taking thoughts captive. We were talking about walking our talk, not just talking about things, but, you know, about maybe perhaps sometimes we need to choose an accountability partner, somebody to help us along the way, someone to remind us, not to point at us and, you know, get on us and badger us and all that kind of stuff, but someone to remind us that we're in agreement with. I've got to be accountable to so-and-so because, or I got to be accountable to this goal. I got to be accountable to that chart I put on my wall, or I got to be accountable to that app where I'm tracking this, that, or the other. And so accountability is important. Accountability is very important. You want to eliminate anything that's getting in your way and abiding by those things that line up. So I wanted to encourage you to do that because, I know I use a lot of soft marshmallow, soft little things as examples sometimes because you're like, dude, Pastor P, I ain't got no Oreos in my cabinet. I ain't got no Fritos. I ain't got no chocolate chip cookies. I ain't got none of that. I ain't got no sodas in the refrigerator. I don't have that. So I don't know what you're talking about. But let's get real with some things, okay? Let's identify some things because know this, I'm not about to let you stay stuck in anything. I'm going to encourage you and hopefully build you up and walk this path of purpose with you. That's part of my purpose, walking this path of purpose with you. Because please know this, That if porn or alcohol or drugs or sex or social media or politics even, a lot of people love the drama of what's going on right now. Can't even put their phones down or turn off the TV because they want to see what happens next. And then they become addicted to that and begins to drive them rather than their purpose. Even in that place of excuses, if continually offering up excuses, this person's in my way, that person's in my way, this happened, that happened. Okay, I can't possibly do that. I've been doing it so long. Stop it. Okay? Because I'm not going to, again, be that person that lets you continue to sit on the sidelines of your life and watch things happen. I encourage you to be a participant. Be a participant in your healing. Be a participant in your recovery. Be a participant in breaking any bondages, any stuff off that's hindering you from being all you were created to be and to do. So if you're just willing to stay on this path with us, we're going to begin taking a much closer look as we take on the 12 steps beginning next week. I just want to make you aware of that. As whenever I was actively pastoring a church, we would every year, we'd walk through the 12 steps to make folks not only aware of anything in their own life, but aware of those who are walking in recovery and being able to encourage and to uphold them and strengthen them just by our awareness and our understanding. So please, I thank you for joining us. I thank you for meeting us right here each week. And just know that during the week, I'm praying for you and lifting you up. And if you didn't do the point and call last week, let's do it this week. Point out and call. Put a name to them. Those things right there are hindering me. This right here is distracting me. This right here is the excuse I've been using. And get rid of it, okay? Know that I love you. Have an absolutely gorgeous day. If it's sunny where you are, get out in it. I love you. Have a great day. Bye now.